Okay, welcome to the broadcast if you're here. Otherwise, welcome to the video. I am in the middle of week 5 for Artv 2470. Let me see what I can close just to give myself more space. For 5.2, I've done 5.1. That's been recorded and the video has been shared along with 5.1 assignment. And now I'm working on 5.2. Let me reload this page and make sure I am in the right place. For 5.1 in the previous recording, I discussed how we can make a proposal for a mobile web page. That is one that would look as an application might on a mobile device using Photopea. We ended up with 2 images. One was a Photoshop document with multiple layers, and the other one was a flattened image, like a Jpeg. For 5.2, you're going to need the Jpeg version. I have saved 2 of those files in my device. I am currently in a Chromebook environment, so I can go and look at my files if I can find my mouse. Let's see, I can either go to the drive or let me try what happens with files. I think files might work better because in my Google Drive I have a folder called Artv 2470, and here I saved 2 different files. One of them is my week 5 app.jpg. This is a flattened file. It's got no layers. The other one is my week 5 app.psd. That's a Photoshop document. It's got multiple layers. If I wanted to make any changes, additions, etc., I would use this one in Photopea. But I want this one, my week 5 app.jpg. The next thing that I need to do, I'll open up in a new tab my GitHub page. So go to GitHub, and I'm not sure if I'm already signed in. No, I'm not, so let me sign in. Artv 2470, whatever your username is, obviously. And then find the repository you have created for this class. Artv, mine is my username.github.io. And I have a week 3 and week 4 folder. I'm going to create a new one called week 05. Just going to acknowledge that. Tell it to add a file. And I can create a new file. And I'll call it, well, first I need to create a folder. And I'll call it week 05, and then the file inside / index.html. Okay. And to edit the file, just what does this file need to have? You can find a template for a basic file, or you can just type in some very basic code, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up an angle bracket and an exclamation point, and declare this document type is going to be HTML5. We do that by declaring the doc type as HTML. I can then close the bracket. I'm going to make this text a little bit larger just so I can read it. Okay, on to the next line. This page, it has one purpose, and that is to display an image. That is the saved image that we did in the last assignment. And because I have a short memory span, I have to go and look to see what it's called. It's called my week 5 app.jpg. I'm going to declare that the image source is equal to, let's see, I tell you, my memory is failing me. What's it called? My week 5 app.jpg. My week 05 app.jpg. Close the quotes. Close the tag, and then this will pull the image onto a page. Now I know I said basic code, but this is a bare page. I'm going to add a little bit more code after the document type. Let's declare that HTML will follow. At the same time, after the image is done, let's declare that the image HTML is done /HTML. I also need to add, well, I don't need to, but I'd like to have at least a little bit of a semblance of a page by telling it that this is where the body of the page is. And before HTML is over, I can open bracket slash body and tell it that's the end of the body of the page. I'm going to commit the new file to save it. And while I'm at it, at this point, depending on if you did your other assignment, if you did it on a PC, hopefully you know where you saved it. Same thing if you did it on a Mac or any other kind of device that saves to your hard drive. On your Chromebook, it would save to your Google Drive. And so when you're looking for a file, that's where you have to go and look for it. I'm going to upload the JPEG file to the same directory where I'm working in. My index file is inside week 5. I'm inside of the week 5 folder since I can see index.html. Let's add the file, upload file. This will give me the opportunity here to say that I can choose my files. Choose your files. It shows me the last place that I had opened before, which was, this is for another class, but I know that in my drive, RV2470, I have my week 5 app.jpg. Click on that and open. And then commit the changes. That will upload and save. And just like anything else, you got to give it a little bit of time to upload and process the files. It's taken me back to my main page, and week 5, the folder is here. I'll click on it to see the contents. I have my index, and now I have my week 5 app.jpg. If I click on it, I think I should be able to see a preview of it. And it's pretty big because although it would look smaller when we made it, it's got a lot of resolution in it, and that's fine. It's not a very big file, it looks big. I'll click on week 5 again, and maybe by now I've sort of wasted enough time or killed enough time that everything has uploaded. I'm going to highlight the name of the repository /week05, right click and tell it to go to that site. In a new tab, it's telling me that yes, it's loading up the page, but it doesn't have the image yet. Let me see what the source is. And hopefully this is just a matter of us having to wait for this. It's my week 05 app.jpg, I think that's what it's called. Like I said, I have sometimes I doubt myself when thinking what I did 5 seconds ago. My week 5 app.jpg. My week 05. There you go. So I went the extra mile, which took me nowhere. I'll go back to my index page. Hopefully you already have done this with the right name for your file. Mine does not have a 0. I could either rename the image or just change that, and I choose to do this. I'll commit the changes. And I've already been talking for close to 8 minutes, so hopefully this loads fast. Otherwise, I'll pause the video for a couple of seconds, a few seconds, and I'll be back. Okay, some time has passed. Let's reload this. And okay, so now it loads up the image. And this is the image that is supposed to represent your application. Now, your application is not horizontal, so it wouldn't look like that. It would look more like this. However, it still looks terrible, doesn't it? It's showing me a portion of the image. And that is the, I guess, the matter that we're supposed to be looking at. So I'll go back into the assignment and take a quick look at the directions. Read more about the Viewport tag at W3 Schools. There's a link. I'm going to click on that. W3 Schools defines it in one line. What is the viewport? Well, the viewport is the user's visible area of a web page. It varies with the device. So we now know this, right? That the device that we're using, the one that I'm using, is a Chromebook, so it's a horizontal screen. But it's not a phone. Now, this web page was designed for anything. However, it doesn't know that it's being viewed in a Chrome browser. It might think it doesn't really think anything. It's just saying, okay, here's your page, now deal with it. The device is supposed to do something with it. And the way that we help the device is by using the viewport. You set the viewport. Since we're working with HTML5, we can control the viewport using the meta tag. Lucky for us, W3 Schools has already told us you should include the following viewport in all your web pages. So no matter what, the viewport at the very beginning of loading the web page is going to tell the browser, hey, when you load this, make sure that it's being displayed only as wide as the image, or rather as wide as your screen is. And the scale should be that of 1.0. This is equal to about 100% of whatever it is you have. I highlighted this code, right-clicked, and copied. And now I go back. I don't know if I'm signed out. Looks like okay, I'm signed in elsewhere. I can sign out of that. I'll go back into my index page and edit it. Now I copied a meta tag. A meta tag doesn't go inside of the body of the web page. Actually, it goes before the HTML. So before the HTML, right after doc type, I'm going to put in a couple of spaces. And since I copied, I can press Control V as in Victor. And now it has the viewport setting that the initial scale should be 100%. I'll scroll down, commit the changes. Something else that'd be nice to do, I think that maybe this will work, but just to make sure that this works completely, we have some samples down here that tell us, if you have an image, if you have a whole page, this is what the result is going to be. It might look like this on a web page, but on a mobile device, on a tablet, it's going to look a little bit better. There is another link in the assignments called actually the tel tag. I don't know that we necessarily need this because we're not using a telephone number just yet, but if you wanted to include a button that would dial a phone number, this would be the place to do it. I'm going to reload my page to see what it's looking like now that it's saved. And since I did that, I'm going to bring it back and forth, and notice nothing's happening still, because doing the viewport is not enough. There is another thing that we need to work with. And this is something that's kind of hidden in the sample. I'm sure that it's in plain sight somewhere else, but we need to make the page a little bit responsive. If we view the sample that they give us that fits inside a smaller screen with the viewport meta tag, yeah, I'll close that. It's freaking the dummy text is foreign. And this works okay in that it will bring it all in, but it's because it's using something else. I'm going to right click to view the source of this page. View page source. And it's got a little bit of CSS coding that we don't have yet in our page. It's adding the style that tells it that when you have an image, to display it at 100% maximum, no more than that. And the height should be automatically changed. And when this happens, when you use these kinds of constraints, not only will it not get any larger than it already is, but as you try to make it smaller, it will keep that in mind and say, I have to get as large as the screen so I can keep on fitting. Going to copy the style tag. You'll notice it's right after the meta tag that we already have. I select the style, right click and copy. Go back to my Artv 2470 page and find my index page. I will edit, find where I have my meta tag, and at the very end press enter and Control V as in Victor and paste the styling. So now we have the meta for the initial scale using viewport, and I now have a CSS styling that will control the width and the height of the screen. I'm going to commit these changes and go back to my page. I know I have to wait a few seconds more. I'll reload and see what the source looks like. That's the image. Right click out here, view page source, and it's still loading. I'll pause the video for a little bit and I'll come right back. Okay, I reloaded my my source and I see that the style is there. I can close this and reload my page, my index page. And now this is still looking at it in a browser. So on a browser it would look like this, but on a mobile device we can see the difference. It's only using what the screen has to offer as far as the image is concerned. So if you were on a mobile phone, a tablet or something, this would be enough to do all your or rather to view the image using this code. So once you have your image loaded and the viewport set, as well as the CSS added, copy the link to this page, the one that you create. Right click copy, go back to your assignment. This is 5.2. Click on the name, scroll your way down and write submission. And you can press Control V as in Victor to paste. You can either, I would remove the formatting, doesn't have anything special. And then that's it, just submit and you're done with week 5. We'll see you in another video.